Are we live? All right, folks. Wow. Beautiful people. Been a while, hasn't it? Welcome. I am Leslie Elizabeth. You guys, you see that name change? Things are changing around here. It's a new day and it's a new season. And I am, folks, as you saw in the title and the thumbnail, we're going to talk about this water pollution situation. I did not know it was so bad until a small but mighty crew member, which you're going to hear from today, told me and sent me videos. And I said, oh no, folks, out of everyone, I will talk about it. Right. And so I found a really interesting article. She has provided me real interesting information, and we're going to talk about it because no one's talking about it. I'm like, what? And it's so drastic. I'm not going to get too much into it right now. My guest is going to get into it because she's been in Ghana for 5 years, and we're going to get into her story too. But folks, drinking water, hello, that is essential. That's essential. Okay, so folks, Small Mighty Crew, where are you watching from? Right, we get international here. We've had Thailand, we've had China, we've had Jamaica, we've had everything. UK, we have had everything. So type in the chat. We want to make sure it works. One time I did a whole live stream for 45 minutes, and I thought I was a loser because no one was talking back to me. Come to find out, the chat was broke. Okay, it wasn't working. So if you ever want to know why I say, where you from, where you watching, we want to make sure the chat works. And yeah, because horrible feeling talking for 45 minutes thinking that no one cares. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's talk about the schedule today. The mission, if you are new here, the mission of this channel is to bridge the emotional, educational, and cultural gap to visit, repatriate, or do business in the motherland. So those that have been following me, we're going on almost 5 years now. My channel has changed, and now it has evolved to a community page, really, right? People from my community, you guys send me messages, stuff you want to talk about, and we talk about it. And of course, my land purchasing journey story, I'm always going to keep you guys updated to that. And yeah, so that is the mission of this channel. If you didn't know, now you know. Okay. Next, don't forget to subscribe, of course, and share. We appreciate you. And then the objective. So the objective of this live stream here is just to get the information out, awareness. I didn't realize how many people did not know that this is happening, right? So we have to, hey, Angel, hey, hello, welcome. Angel, you're in the UK in the house. I didn't know that it was such a lack of awareness. And so I'm going to do my part. There's some videos that our guests showed me, and I watched them. I commented below, and they're like, please share. And I'm like, we will be talking about this today. Okay. I'm going to do my part to spread awareness because this is people's health on the line. What? Who wants? No. This is serious. Okay. And then after, so that's the objective of today. And then we're going to bring up my guest, Kimberly Akufu. You guys probably seen her. If you've been watching especially my live streams, you've been seeing her at the beginning of my videos, talking about the Are You EQ Ready book. Folks, you can take a quiz and see if you're EQ ready to visit the motherland. The quiz is in the description box. So we're going to be talking to our guest, Miss Kimberly Akufu. Folks, she married a Ghanaian man. Okay, that's what she did. And then also, if you ask yourself, am I ready to repatriate, right? I also have a quiz for you as well. Are you repat ready? Oh, Angel, I think you took that travel personality quiz. I know you did. I also have a quiz for that because, folks, we got to help each other. Each one teach one. Because there's a lot of gatekeepers, okay? But if we tell each other what is really going on, we can have a better experience within the motherland, okay? And then, of course, at the end, I always keep it open for some questions and answers. Okay, guys, let's get ready for our guests. Folks, I'm so excited. We got to chat earlier this week, and I'm just like, we got to get you on the channel now. We got to get you on now. Her story is amazing. She's been part of the Small but Mighty crew for years now. And yes, let's bring her up, shall we? Yes, eye opener indeed, Angel. Eye opener indeed. Angel says, Angel took the quiz. She said, yes, eye opener. Folks, I am playing with you guys. I strategically put both of these quizzes together so you can get your results, so you can see where you are, right? And where you need to get to in order to enjoy your motherland experience. A lot of us, it's going to be your first time going to the motherland. So you want to be in the best mental and emotional state as possible. Trust me, right? Trust moi, okay? Okay, let's bring up Miss Kimberly, Queen Kimberly. Hey, hey, hey.
Hello. Hey, dear. How are you? You call me Queen. Yeah, I don't know why you call me Queen.
I call everybody Queen. You don't want me to
good. You know, that's one of those buzzwords for me. My husband, of course, calls me Queen because most Black West African men use that as a term of endearment. But I will be a Queen Mother one day if I decide to accept the Queen Mother role for his village. Yeah, because my husband is going to be installed as chief of his village. But anyway, I just like, why do you keep calling me Queen, girl? I didn't say yes. But anyway, hi y'all.
I'm speaking it into existence. So you're okay. Let's talk about that real quick. You dropped that on us. Your husband is about to become installed as a chief.
Well, he's next in line for chiefdoms. You don't talk about it. It's one of those things. The kingmakers make the king, but his grandfather was the first chief. His father declined the stool, and we've had a regent over the village since then for about 20 years. So my husband is next in line for the stool, and they've had some conversation with him, but you're never allowed to talk about it. You know, it's hush hush. But they did ask me if I would be Queen Mother. And initially I said, sure. And then I decided to think about it and pray about it because there are a lot of spiritual implications with that as well. And I just wanted to take my time on that one because you have a lot of African spiritual traditions that go along with it, and ceremony and deity worship, which anti-Christian. I'm a Christian. So, you know, for myself, it's one of those things that I'm taking a pause and saying I could do all of the steps without actually taking the title. So yeah, that's what. But so when you call me Queen, I'm like, ooh, everybody
get ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Get ready.
Thank you so much for the invitation. Yeah, to come and chat.
Yes. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for sending me that information. And so basically tell the Small but Mighty crew who you are and how'd you get to Ghana initially.
Oh, okay, that story. Okay, so I'm Kimberly Vantrease. I'm now a Kufu. I've been married it will be 5 years this year, and I got married. But I went to Ghana right around COVID time, and I went because I heard about. Now it's so funny because I heard about children that were starving in camps. This is what my friend told me. She was in Uganda, though. She was doing a mission in Uganda and doing some work there. And I was working during COVID. I'm a grant writer, by the way. So my background is in fundraising and grant writing. And I was working for, I think, Boys and Girls Clubs at the time. Anyway, everything dried up. All my contracts dried up during COVID. I ended up working at a grocery store during COVID, which was the most horriblest thing ever. I took a management position, but I had access to food. So she was telling me they need food. So I went around and gathered up about some 800 pounds of food to send to Uganda. That was before I knew how much it cost to ship food to Africa. But so that never left the States. But that's how I ended up even knowing about Africa. And someone reached out to me on LinkedIn because of my background. They needed some grant money for their school in Ghana. And at the time, I didn't even have a passport, y'all. I just simply was listening to this call for help. And I decided I was going to go help. So I packed up some supplies, materials, school supplies, about 300 Christmas gifts for the children at this school.
Mm.
And I got a passport and went to Africa. I did no research. Leslie, I didn't do what you tell us to do, sister. I just left. I didn't even wasn't even smart enough to watch YouTube videos. I was just gone.
Ooh-wee.
Anyway, I went, I gave the things. I fell in love with the mission and the man that was running the school, Mr. Frank Mills Akufu. And he and I got
That's who that
married.
is.
Yeah, we got married later. So anyway, so I married him. And then that put me in a position that I didn't plan on being this missionary in Africa. And that's how it happened. I didn't hear a calling. I didn't hear the ancestors calling. No one called. My husband called, to come and help. And that's how I ended up in the continent, and what my work has been. It's just been really capacity building, helping folks on the inside, So I saw a great need. When people know that you're a grant writer, everybody has an NGO and got it. You don't meet anybody that doesn't have an NGO or church or a village that needs support. And I could not help everyone, obviously. Now I've raised $1 billion here in the States, not all in grant money. I always have to put that caveat out. We do capital campaigns too. So if you're raising 120 million in campaigns. But anyway, I just felt like I had to work with the NGOs and the schools and the people that are trying to do really good work that need support. So that's really what my work is. Have not been paid yet, but I do a lot of consulting and I do a lot of capacity building. And so that's how you and I intersected, and how most people meet me is I'm trying to help folks and you're trying to help folks. And so, like you said, that small and mighty crew just kind of came together. So that's it. That's me. Not a little nutshell. I gave you a lot of info.
Yeah, I didn't know you weren't getting paid. My.
No, wow. Haven't gotten a CD yet.
Right. So how did you get from your transition, your repatriation story? How'd you get from Michigan, right? You're from Michigan?
I'm from Michigan.
How'd you get from Michigan? What was your repatriation journey like? What'd you have to do? Did you sell anything?
And I sold everything. That was the problem. I did no homework. I did no quizzes. I wasn't ready. Nope. But what I said was, this is a good thing. It's a God thing. So let me go run and do it. And that was not wise. I sold everything. Everything I couldn't sell, I gave away. And I'm telling you, car, house, everything. Yes, I'm like, I'm in Michigan. So I gave away all my clothes. Who needs clothes from Michigan? I need summer clothes. So I gave away. I would never tell anybody to do what I did. Don't do it. The reason why I'm still there 5 years later, it really has to do with relationships with my husband and with the people that I've met, and the systems that I was able to tap into. So I work with the government, I work with the education system, with several universities, and with large NGOs. That's the only reason why I was able to survive, right? How do I keep money coming in? I have to hustle. And the grants that I write that do pay me are not on the continent. So I have to keep the hustle going and find people that need grant writing in the States. And then they pay me.
This is a good point.
You have to get paid in USD. Sis, don't outside. Don't look for anything on the continent. There's no one that can afford you. Even my retainer fee is only $250, $300. Nobody can even pay me that. Just the retainer fee. So I recognized very quickly that this was going to have to be as unto the Lord. And then I was going to have to just wait and see how things worked out. And so, I do have a nonprofit in America, Lake Pashaw Women's Ministry. And that's how I'm able to collect resources. And we act as a fiscal sponsor for the work that we do in Ghana. So that was another thing that I had in place. And I would suggest, if people want to do NGO work, do nonprofit work, establish an organization in the US that can collect dollars. People are far more comfortable giving you donated dollars in the States. And then you have to set up your NGO or your nonprofit in the States so that you can give monies overseas. Don't set it up the wrong way, because IRS will tackle you. You have to set it up the right way. And I've been doing it for 30 plus years, so I know how to do that. So those are my I know we're
That's a
way out.
video in itself.
I said we all out of the but
Yeah,
those are
that's a video in itself.
yeah, those are way. I tell people, don't wait till you get to Ghana to set up an NGO. You can set up an NGO in Ghana. There are over 30,000 NGOs in Ghana. That does not include ministries or churches. And they are all struggling. Just we're all struggling here in the States as well. But people have a hard time giving to Africa. Let's just be real. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. They don't like people that work with me for years. Told me they don't give to the they give in the United States. So we trust you, Kimberly, but we don't trust them. And that's reality. So I tell people, go ahead and establish something here. Set it up the right way. Check off the right boxes when you're establishing it on that. Form 1023 is what you need to set up a nonprofit.
Well, we're going to have to do a video on. We're going to do a video on that alone. But let's swerve back.
Swerve back. Let's get on topic, Kimberly.
Let's swerve back. You sent me some interesting stuff. Okay, so what state? I guess where are you at now? Like, what brought you to where you're at now, and what led you to send me those videos about the water?
Well, I think when you and I were speaking last weekend, I made mention, you asked me why I didn't go back, because I normally go back in about a 3 or 4 month time period when I'm home, and then I'm there for a few months. So technically, I don't have anything here, but I still go back and forth. So I'm at my mama's house, I tell people. But anyway, I mentioned that I was having nightmares about going back. I was being very transparent.
To Ghana?
To Ghana.
Right now, you're in Michigan.
I'm in Michigan. I was having nightmares. I was supposed to go back already. And I was like, I can't go back. No, I can't go back. And the reason why I was having nightmares, it never happened before, but it was the water situation, because I was dreaming about having to go back to the apartment that I was living in that doesn't have water. And we didn't have water for a good 6 to 8 weeks before I left in June. We hadn't had water for like 6 to 8 weeks. And we still don't have water in that apartment. And I made mention to you that there, I know of places in Central, because I have friends that are in Salt Pond, and they haven't had water since last November. And you were shocked to hear that there was the spigot. I'm talking about, when I say there's no water, I mean that the water coming through the municipal waters were cut off. And that is something that we experience when you live on the continent. Almost everyone has experienced the same with lights out, going off. Lights go off, lights come on, water goes off, but it's usually only off for 4 or 5 days. And so when it's off for weeks, it's difficult, and so and we're in Tema, which is in Greater Accra. So I'm not in a remote village where a lot of expats are. And it's one of those unfortunate realities of living, on the continent, is that you're faced with these very inconvenient situations. Yeah. And so, I found out how bougie I was when I moved to Africa. I didn't know I was a bougie American. I knew I was a middle class suburban, but I never thought of myself as bougie, because I'm not a like name brand kind of girl, but I am very bougie. And I think people need to confront that. You need to add that to are you emotionally ready to come? You need to know there's a level of, if you're middle class, upper class, there's just some things that you have a hard time dealing with. And I know you asked that question because I took your quiz too. How would you feel if the lights went out? How would you feel? It's easy for us to say, oh, it would be no problem. I kind of roll with the punches. You can do that for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, but when you are pushing 2 months, 3 months, and you're having to go fetch water from boreholes, and thank God we have a borehole at our school, courtesy of AfriKicks and Black Lives Matter. They came in March and put a borehole at our school. We have a school in Ashaiman. It's a free school, an NGO school that helps a lot of people in that community. And so now about 3,000 families can access fresh, clean water. But we need many of them.
Yeah, we need way more boreholes. So can you go over what is Galamsey? What is
Galamsey,
that
that's
for
what
those
we
that
talk
don't know?
about. Galamsey is the terminology that's used to refer to illegal gold mining. Now I don't know if it's a
Mm,
tree word or not, but they call it Galamsey. It's all over the news, and since I've been there the last 5 years, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. And we just saw at the end of last
mm,
year into this year, there was just huge contaminations of the body, the fresh water in Ghana. And right now, their water commission, and anyone can Google this. Um, the Water Commission of Ghana says about 60% of all fresh water bodies in Ghana has been contaminated with heavy metals. And we know when we go to Ghana as an expat, they tell us don't drink the water. It's just like going to Mexico. They say, your body probably can't handle the parasites. Don't drink the water. Don't eat fresh vegetables that have been washed in water. So you can do that if you're there for 2 weeks. 10 days on your vacation. But if that's a lifestyle, now the water is coming in, it's contaminated with heavy metals and leads. You don't even want to wash your clothes or take a bath in that water. That's serious,
wow.
very serious. We know we can boil it. You can't boil away. You can boil away parasites. You can't boil away heavy metals. And
Yes.
that's a serious, serious issue. And I tell people they need to really do their homework, especially when they're going out buying land. Because a lot of the places that right now, especially Greater Accra, where everybody wants to be in the Greater Accra area, so they're moving further out. With those lands are the reason why they're cheap. There's a reason why they're cheap. You get what you pay for in a lot of instances.
Mm,
So the sewers have not been dug out to that far. So you got to think about that. Where is the water
yeah.
coming from? Are you tapping into the main um, water source, Ghana water, or are you going to drill a borehole on your property? And then put in the
Mm,
filtration system for that. So there are a lot of things people should consider, and I told you a lot of people are just going, is it safe? They ask that. They do. Is it safe? Is there a lot of crime? But
mhm,
now you need to be talking about environmental issues. Do you want to bring your babies
mm.
here? Because I'm in Michigan and we're very familiar with Flint water, the Flint
Flint.
water
Yeah.
crisis, and babies being born with disabilities and defect because of the water. And that was going on
Right.
for many, many years, And so I tell people,
Mm,
take your time, do some research. And in all honesty, we're waiting. I just sent you something that was in the news this week. I was on
mhm.
TV3 there in Ghana.
Yes.
We're waiting for the government to come up with something. They're not even putting out a boil water advisory. Like they're not saying nothing, And so we're on our
Mhm.
own. The good thing is, and I tapped you into some of the Facebook pages that I'm in where the expats, where we do talk about it. We are sharing our experiences and
Yes.
what's happening in our neighborhoods. And so that's how, and of course, we're talking to one another. And so that's how I know what's happening in other parts of the country. Very good. You got
Yes.
it.
And you
Mhm.
actually sent me
Yeah.
you sent me this. So I definitely want to talk about this map.
Mm-hmm.
Where is so this is Ghana, folks. And this
Yeah.
shows you where the polluted rivers are. So look, it's where are you? Are you in the whoever's watching this? Are you in the north, south, east, or west? Because it looks
Mm.
like the south has the greatest impact. So this is a list
Yeah.
of major polluted rivers in Ghana. Hashtag no to Galamsey. Right,
Mm-hmm.
Galamsey. If you just check it in, folks, that Galamsey is illegal mining. Okay,
Yes.
illegal mining, and they are ruining water so bad in Ghana, right? That and we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
read an article. We're gonna read an article about it because I was shocked. The water is it's so bad that they're talking about um if it doesn't change in 5 years, they're gonna have to start importing water.
Can you imagine? We're on the Gulf of
Import,
Guinea.
importing water. That doesn't even make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, folks, thank you, Magozi. Yes, let me. I want to take a little bit more time on this map. Let me make it bigger so you guys can see this map. Right? Where are
Mm-hmm.
you currently living, folks, and where do you want to live? All right, because that's is very important. And so Kim, where is the majority of Black Americans moving to when they come and
They're in the
resettle and
South.
build
Yeah,
their properties?
they're in Greater Accra, so they're in the South. We're almost
And that's
all
where
in
most
Greater
of it
Accra.
is.
That's where most of the because it's coming from the like they're on the water. Okay, so Galamsey, if you're digging for gold, you're digging up
Mm-hmm.
the earth and you're tossing the dirt and the mud, and you're going further down into those settlements, and it's going into the river. So you need water. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why they're highlighting water bodies, but all of it kind of flows together and it's all running down. So you see how it's all coming into the south. So you're looking at Volta. Volta
Right.
River is one of the major rivers that they're using. So in the OT region, that's where my husband's family is, the number 14, the OT river. And so that's kind of on the east side. But those are contaminated,
Mm-hmm.
y'all, and they all feed into smaller water bodies and streams. And so the villages are very heavily impacted. They don't have
Mm-hmm.
access like we do in larger Greater Accra area. So yeah, but most of the Black Americans, Black foreigners, because they're coming from Europe and the UK, we settle in Greater Accra or the Eastern region. And you
Mm-hmm.
can tell by the map, that's where most of the contaminated waters are coming from. And
Yes.
because we go and turn
So
on our,
OT,
yeah, OT's up there.
OT. I just want to show them where OT. Can you see
Yeah.
my hand moving, folks? This is OT, and so that's considered Eastern.
Yeah, that's up in the eastern part. And then, yeah. So,
And then
and
the
Volta's right
Pram
underneath it.
Pram.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And I was just saying Volta's on the other side. It's further up. Yeah. It's like at
Oh,
the
here.
highest one I think up there is Volta. Yeah. Black Volta.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Black Volta. They're number
Yeah.
15, Black Volta.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then
So there are a lot of Black
UN.
Americans in Volta. Mm-hmm.
This is so crucial right now. Folks, when I start yelling, I'm not yelling at you. I'm passionate. Okay.
Yeah.
This is so crucial because you even told me that Salt Pond didn't have water for months, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, wait, that's where my land is. Ooh, where'd you go? You disappeared on me. And I was like, that's where my land is.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I did? I text Nana. I text my Nana. And I said, Nana, I heard you don't have water. Is it true? He said, and I can just his accent. I can just hear his accent through his text. Sister, at the beginning of the year, we had no water. Now it is flowing. Good, and I'm like, oh my God. Because I text him to check up on the community, And I said, how's the community going? And they're like, it's fine. But then you told me that. I texted him back. I said, what's going on? And that's what he said. He was like, it was off at the beginning of the year. But it's flowing now. But I think what you said is crucial. You said municipal. Yeah. Municipal water is turned off because they're trying to prevent, right?
Right.
And what you said about the borehole, folks, you better get a borehole. Because if this gets to your area, if it's not already, your borehole will save you, right? And so now, could you talk a little bit about how your borehole is benefiting your community now?
Sure. Black Lives Matter and AfriKicks, which is a foundation. Oh God, I think the brother is from Senegal, I believe, he was an athlete. Anyway, he started AfriKicks. He's an African who started it. Anyway, he partnered with Black Lives Matter Foundation, and they're putting in I think their goal is to put in like 2,000-3,000 boreholes across Africa. And we were fortunate because of an organization that I work with, a company called Afro-Arab Group. And I got to plug them because they're doing great properties. If anyone's looking for housing, I got to put a plug in for Afro-Arab Group, Afro-Arab Properties. And they recommended our school because we're in Ashaiman, which is one of the slums of Accra. And we give free education. And we work with orphans. And so if you want to support, please do. But anyway, we got supported that way. They came in and they put in this borehole, and it's on our school campus, but we've made it accessible to the community. And so Ashaiman, those in Ashaiman, and we know how difficult it is in that community. And those who live in Accra will tell you, people tell you to stay away from Ashaiman, like don't go to Ashaiman. So anyway, that's why we're there to help that community. It's a very impoverished community. And this borehole, they dug it and it took them like 4 days to get that borehole in. It has a water filtration and a huge poly tank on it. And that water is now, we have it available to different times during the week or the month. And our goal is to be able to put it in transportation vehicles and trucks and take it to the other parts, not just in our neighborhood, but take it to other parts of Accra, which would make that water available to thousands of families. And so that is our goal. Of course, that takes money that we don't have right now. But that's what you have to do. Like in where our apartment is, you just have to get the water truck to come out. And a friend of mine who lives in Salt Pond last year paid to have a water truck sent up. It takes, I think it has like 1,100 gallons for the village. And that's what they do. They're just sending out they're sending village water trucks to the villages that don't have water. But like everything in Ghana, you only going to hear 20% of what's happening. And so I tell people, whether it's something very, very good or very, very bad, you're probably only seeing the tip of the iceberg. And it's not until you live there and you're not just listening to media. You're not listening to the news, you're talking to people that it's actually impacting. And that's when you can get the real deal information. But for the most part, if you're just relying on YouTube, social media, you're only going to get the information filtered through the YouTube channel, because the YouTube channel tells you at the beginning, this is what we're about, this is what we're going to talk about. And then they give you the information that supports their narrative. And so that's what you have to be careful of. I tell people, if your ship is headed toward the shiny tip of the iceberg, and a lot of people are, oh, it's so peaceful and so beautiful and clean and glistening, because they're looking at the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg. But if you head your ship that direction, you're going to crash, because 80% that's below the surface, you got to get it from people. Get your information from people on the ground, not people who were there for 10 days for December, who had a blast, for a month. You need people that have been there a minute. Because I tell you, first year, I didn't have much.
December, it's about to be dirty for real.
For real. Don't drink the water. Maybe don't drink the water.
December.
Don't drink the water. We were never drink. Let me just put this out here. Don't ever drink the sachet water either.
Right.
Drink bottled water only, and only the major brands. So only Belacqua, Voltic. I'm not getting paid by because there are a lot of new bottles. Like if you go to the village, you're frozen, Leslie. I'm still moving my lips, but you're frozen.
Okay. I think we're freezing up pretty bad.
Yeah, you froze up. You froze up a little bit.
Folks, are we frozen? Can you put in the chat? Okay. Can you repeat what you said about the water, the bottled water?
I was telling folks there and people that are coming, especially for the holidays, only drink bottled water. I mean, that's something they tell you when you first come. But I'm also going to say, don't drink the sachet water either. It comes in little plastic bags. So don't drink the sachet water either. Drink bottled water, and drink it if you can from one of the top 3 or 4 companies like Belagua or Voltic, because every time you go to the market, there's a new bottled water from a local company. And it's unfortunate, but you can't trust the source of where that water comes from.
Now there's a question here. Borehole tap into underground streams are fed from other water sources. Isn't heavy metals there too? That's beyond me. I don't know. Do you know?
I'm going to say the reason why the boreholes are better is because the water is like the heavy metals are going to sink, but the boreholes go down a good 50 feet, like way down. They bring up settlement. Like that's how many layers down it goes. So it'll take many years before those heavy metals settle to the borehole level, which is beneath the surface. So the water that's coming from and I sent you some videos of Galamsey in action, and you see the people in the rivers. And so the contamination is at that river location. And so it's going to be in the settlement. It will settle eventually, but you're safe. I think we would be safe for many years before it hits that level.
So what you're saying, it goes enough to kind of skip what Galamsey is doing. It'll take a very long time to creep up that level to where or creep down to that level where it affects the borehole water.
Yes.
What you're saying?
Yes.
Boreholes, okay, perfect. Now there is a article I want to read with. Girl, it's breaking up. The people are saying we're good, but it's just us that see freezing.
Oh, okay.
But they're saying that we're.
I'm going to turn off my camera and see if that helps. Go ahead.
So I want to read this article. There's this article I want to read. Let me get there. I want to share. Oh, I froze for 15 seconds. Yikes. Okay. So let me do this real quick. I'll bring you back on after I read the article, Kimberly, just in case, the internet's true right now. I got a new Ethernet cable and everything to make sure everything's flowing, and it's still not. Okay. We're going to get this information. So I want to share this article with you guys. Let me get there. And this is pretty serious in my eyes, because we got the Vatican on this thing, folks. The Vatican. We have the Vatican. Okay. Now, Kim, I want to see if I can still hear you. Can you say something, Kim?
Yes, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Okay, perfect. Okay, so okay. As long as we can hear you, because you're bringing the facts, you're bringing all the information.
Yeah, I'm still here. I think it's
there.
Yeah, if I keep my camera off, it might help.
Okay, so let's talk about this article now. All right, guys, the Vatican. This is an article from 2 days ago. You're a welcome blueprint. This happened 2 days ago, guys. This dropped 2 days ago. Vatican News. Bishops of Ghana renew call for urgent action as illegal mining crisis deepens. The Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference has issued a fresh and urgent appeal to the government, pressing for decisive and transparent action against the destructive scourge of illegal mining locally known as Galamsey. Okay. In a statement delivered after a high-level engagement from President John Mahama and civil society organizations recently, the bishops described the situation as nothing less than a public, sorry, that's the house alarm, a public health and human rights emergency. Folks, this is not a game. All right, Kim, you said 60% of the river, 60%. That's above 50.
That's right.
That is not, that's not something to take lightly. Health and human rights emergency. They cited findings from the recent mercury and heavy metals impact assessment conducted by Pure Earth and the Environmental Protection Agency, together with the testimony of the UN, United Nations Special Rapporteur on toxic substance, which they said presents an alarming and irrefutable picture. Ghana is poisoning its own life support systems, right? The evidence is stark. Mercury and arsenic levels in some communities exceed safe limits by hundreds of times.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Rivers, soils, and crops are contaminated. Over 500,000 farmers have been displaced, and children are already bearing the scars of toxic exposure. Our water, our food security, and the very future of our nation are at stake. This is what the bishops at the Vatican are saying. This is what they said 2 days ago. This is not an old article,
Mm-hmm.
folks.
Yeah, I
The
think I
need
sent
for
that
clear
to you.
benchmarks. Okay. The bishops emphasize that credibility is as vital as policy in the fight against Galamsey. They urge the president to ensure clear benchmarks that will trigger a state of emergency, visible prosecution of kingpins, including those named in official reports, the establishment of promised fast track courts. Folks, they said, we know the court system is not efficient, but you need to
Mm-hmm.
promise a fast track court system for this. For those that do not want to obey what is being said, put them through the court system quicker, because there's no time to play with this.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, y'all hear what we're reading? And this is no joke. And protection for communities and traditional leaders who resist Galamsey, alongside accountability for those complicit. Complicit? Complicit.
Complicit. You said it. Yeah, you said it right.
Basically, I said it right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, folks. Oh, and this is what. Let me finish. I'm getting hype. Let me calm down. Your Excellency, credibility is now as important as policy. Our people must see that no one is above the law, and that economic expediency cannot outweigh the sacred right to clean water. What does Galamsey, folks? Yes, illegal mining, right? And they're thinking about profit. They're like, how do we make this money, right? But they're like, clean water is way more important than gold. But guess what? If people that are illegally mining are not from that country, they don't care. Ain't that right, Kimberly?
That's right. And I wanted to comment on a couple of things. Just, I think yesterday or the day before, there was one of the Queen Mothers, there was a news article that she rejected the folks that wanted to come and pay her $2.5 million to mine on her property or her land. And the chiefs are definitely involved. There is no way that anyone can come into the village or any of the protected lands, installed lands, and just drill. They bring in huge machines. These mining operations are funded from, I read an article, I think I sent it to you, from the Mafia, the Italian Mafia are bringing in the Chinese, French, the Americans. Now, the government has formally kicked them out as of September. I think it was September of this year, it might have been earlier, where they have officially kicked anyone out that is doing that small scale mining. The government has taken over those mining operations supposedly, but of course we that live there know that this is still happening. They did some stuff for the show. You know, you do it for the gram. They got it on it. They showed some Chinese people being handcuffed and carried away. But I guarantee you those mines were up and operating within 2 weeks' time, you know, once the smoke blew away. It's a money-making deal for people. And also, you know, surrounding areas, Togo, Congo, all of those, Congo's not near us, Benin, Togo, there's mining. The trade, the illegal trade is definitely impacting that. So smuggling gold, I forgot how many millions and billions of dollars worth of gold is smuggled out of Ghana through these enterprises. So it's surpassing the
Wow.
government, where nobody's paying the tax on bringing that gold out, and so it's a huge operation. The systems are in place, the people are making their money and have been for many, many, many years. So now the problem is we're becoming sick by it. It's gotten so bad. And so many, many people are getting sick from it. And the foods are contaminated as well. The fruits and vegetables that are coming from these areas. What do the farmers do? They have to irrigate their land. And the closest water body is that contaminated river or stream. And so you read it in the article. It's really very widespread, but like everything, people just go to work. You know how it is, just here in America, all hell is breaking loose in America. Most people getting up, going to work, and yeah, it's not in my neighborhood. So as long as it's not in my neighborhood where I have to see it, people just kind of turn a blind eye to it. But Black Americans and people who are spending all their money to come need to be prepared. And we don't have recourses. We don't know how to live in the village without water. We don't know how to live without water. That's something that is just a basic right. And the last thing I have to mention, the United, what's his name? USAID. The USAID gave millions of dollars to Ghana under the WASH program, which is the water, what is it? WASH. The water, gosh, I'm a complete blank on it. But anyway, it's water. And we got millions and millions of dollars from USAID. That money is gone, y'all. So the protections that USAID put in place is not there. Water and sanitation. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Sanitation. Those programs that were well funded, the water that was given, and those protections are no longer. So we as a community, and I said to Leslie, we have to figure out how to speak with one voice as the diaspora, as the repatriates. How do we get to the government to say, look, we are here, and it's important to us that you put some attention to this effort, because now our livelihood, it's one thing, our lives are being at stake. We kind of know we're rolling the dice on a lot of things, but this one, okay, I don't drink the water, but now I can't eat fruits and vegetables. So what am I going to do? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We know how expensive it is to eat foods that are imported. So now do I only eat import foods? Now my food bill has gone up 10 times.
Crazy. Right. Crazy. And I did a live stream on the USAID. I did a whole live stream on that. Money just cut, period. Money that basically USAID, just like the name, that Ghana needed. Trump was like, we're done. Stopped every products and service. Everything was on ships to come to Ghana. He even stopped that. Just chilling in the water.
He burned up 500 tons of food that was en route to some of the camps in Gaza and all these other places. I wrote a proposal. It was an open letter that actually got picked up. So I said we need first right of refusal for anything that is in this country. Every building, every vehicle, every computer, everything that's in this country. And they actually took it, and they're actually working with the USAID, because I said our government in Ghana, there's no way you're going to let them do this to y'all. Okay, they took the money, but you're not taking nothing else out this country. I bet you that. And that's what they did. So they are working with, there's a task force that the government convened, and they're using that information that I put together and others to say, no, we're gonna. There are laws in place that say that once you bring it to our country, it's ours. If you decide to tuck tail and run, So hopefully that will help offset some of the money. But gosh darn it, they didn't care. And I think you can say you want to stop giving money all day long, but give them a year,
folks.
9 months.
They didn't care at all.
Nope, they still don't care. People dying. We're not talking about it. We are not talking about it. what's going on with the inoculations and HIV, that has gone, it is the cases of HIV in our country are escalating. Very many diseases are happening that are ramping up, and no one is talking about it. But yeah, Ghana's real good for talking about
A
stuff.
whole live stream I did on that.
Yes, and
I
it's
remember
gotten
you
worse.
mentioning that. You mentioned that.
Yeah, it's getting worse. I mean, I work with the education department. I work with health department, health ministries. Yeah, it's sad. It's very sad what's happening. Um, but they'll get it together. The problem with Ghana is that everything is political. So when the next political cycle comes, like administration comes in, they toss out all the work that last person's did. So they're never building on anything. They're starting from the scratch, as Ghanaians say.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid that with whatever this new administration puts in place, if MPP gets in, that's why they never can get nothing done. They start buildings, they start projects. And then the new administration comes in, and then now they're not going to do that because that was NPP. So we're not going to do the roads. We're not going to deal with sewers or, pollution. So I really hope that this new administration, they come up with a way so that whatever you start, you finish. The next people that come on need to finish what the last people started. So that would be helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. Like totally. Because what change will happen if we have to start over every 4 years? I definitely want to finish this article real quick. I'm almost done with this. But excellent. Kim, you are full of knowledge. Just full. Okay. There we go. Okay, where do we leave off here? Okay, Your Excellency, credibility is now as important as policy. Our people must see that no one is above the law and that economic expediency cannot outweigh the sacred right to clean water, safe food, and a healthy environment. To delay is to risk complicity in what is fast becoming an ecocidal tragedy of monumental proportions, they added. So this is the bishops at the Vatican talking. Not now, not tomorrow, not later. This renewed call builds on the bishop's earlier plea for action in September 2025, when they issued a wide-ranging pastoral statement describing illegal mining as one of the gravest afflictions of our time. At that time, they decried the devastating impact on rivers, forests, farmlands, and public health, warning that Galamsey had become a cancer in our national soul. They appealed for the immediate declaration of a state of emergency in the most affected areas, stressing that delay is betrayal. Now, not tomorrow, not later, is the time to act. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Lastly, government's commitment. Responding to that call, President Mahama convened the October meeting with CSO. I think you mentioned CSO, Kimberly, including the bishops. He pledged transparency and reiterated his personal commitment to the fight, stating, "I am determined. We need your support. We need your criticism, your advocacy, your pressure. Continue to put our feet to the fire and let's win the fight together. Our great grandfathers gave us a beautiful country with trees and beautiful rivers, and we should not hand over poisoned water bodies or desecrated forests to our children and great grandchildren." How do you feel about that statement? Because it sounds like he's asking for help, But I'm like, don't you have the power to end all this? Or do you not have the power
He
to end all
absolutely,
this?
he absolutely does not. I mean, I think he does not. I mean, I just made mention of that. It is one of those things that you only have 4 years, and this is his second term, so Muhammad cannot run again. And I doubt very seriously that his vice president will get the ticket. Maybe she will, but she's been very quiet this since he came on board this year. But anyway, the reason why is because Ghana, like most African countries, is so beholden to the foreign direct investment. So if you think for one moment that anything gets done in that country that is not being paid for by an outside uh, country, you're just sadly mistaken. Ghana, if you think about it, and someone made mention of it, Ghana is a tenth the size of America, and yet our budget is less than the budget of California. So we're running a country on less money than the state in America. And so that's why there's just so little that gets, precious little that gets done, no matter how much they say they want to make change. And in the wording that they use is very, it's interesting and yet very specific. They never say they're going to do it. They say with your help, with God's help, with, because they know they can't do it. And so it's just a way to pacify the masses. Ghanaians are very polite people. And so they'll never just come right out and say to your face, I don't care, I can't do it, it's not my problem. They'll just delay. They love committees. Things get hung up in committees. Right now, the nurses are on strike. The teachers are on strike because they've been working for 10 months without pay. Why? Because their money got hung up last year, November and December. Things didn't get paid for that should have been paid for. And now everything's in committee and this one didn't get vetted. So that's the stall tactics of things that happen in the government. So this just gets lumped into everything else, I believe. But as I said, we have a voice. If we would come together and make a stink about it, I guarantee you, if some Black Americans put on some Black Our Lives Matter t-shirts and march the same way we did in America, it would draw attention to the issue. But we're sitting behind our gated communities, drinking our bottled water, and saying, dang, sure wish I'm so glad I'm not up there where it's happening to those people. But that's where our people are. It's 34 million people in Ghana. Only 2 million live in Accra. So the majority of the country is outside of that major region, and they're the ones that are suffering the most. And shame on us that we can be comfortable, lunching and brunching. And I got a little chip on my shoulder because I'm trying to support people and nobody's supporting me supporting people because they're comfortable.
You're a missionary.
Yeah. So I look at things very differently. I'm not doing that. Yeah.
You're out there on a mission. The other ones, they're tired and retired.
Exactly.
Right? They ain't trying to do that. They are not trying to make a difference.
Nope. That does not bother them. If it does not knock on their door, they couldn't care less. And that's okay. My friend had to help me understand it. That is okay, Kimberly. Everybody's not sent to make a difference. And the reality is, and you and I talked about the systems, the same way I can do nothing to dismantle white supremacy in America and change the education system and the police station, systems here, I can't do the same thing there. And so if you come over there thinking that you have a great idea or you can make a difference globally or nationally, you're just going to get real tired and real frustrated and disappointed. We just watched O'Shea Kingana, and he was going off over in Uganda because at some point you just get so exhausted dealing with the systems. I'm not trying to change systems. I'm trying to get clean, portable water to more people. I want to raise money to drill more boreholes in these areas that we are looking at where people can't do it. They won't
Mm-hmm.
be able to do it unless we help. And okay, you don't want to invest. I'm not telling you to invest and start a business, but can you help us raise money to drill boreholes? Wouldn't that be fabulous? Come on, community, mighty community. We can do this. We can get money together to drill boreholes so that
Mm-hmm.
clean, portable water can get to the most impacted communities where the Black Americans are not there spending their dollars. That's my pitch. But anyway, you didn't ask me to say that, but I'm just saying
That,
we can do something about it. Maybe not on
and
a
you know what?
national level.
If you can come back on this, if you
I'm
can,
coming.
if you can come back on the screen, let's see how the
Hmm.
service is,
There we go. Yeah. What are your folks
because
at? Are they
this
asking
is
questions?
serious.
Does anybody have
I
questions
think,
or comments?
yeah. I've shared all the information I wanted to. So this is
Hmm.
definitely, if you have any questions, even though you guys have been asking questions throughout, which was great.
Hmm.
But now we can actually focus on the comment section, and we can actually focus on it that way. But they're asking questions throughout, so we might not have any
Good.
more questions.
Good.
Yeah, I think. Oh, we did have one question that I didn't acknowledge from Angel. Where are they sourcing the bottled water?
Well, um,
Miss Kim.
wait. See, I live in Tema 25 and we pass by the Belagua, which is one of the bigger companies. We pass by that that plant every day. And I ask the same question, where's the water coming from? Because I see the water. They're very close. Let me just say this. They're very close to Pram Pram, to the Gulf of Guinea. I am hoping that that's where they're sourcing their water and they're doing filtration. But I won't lie to you. When I tell you don't drink Sachet water, I see where they're getting the water from. Straight out the sewer. Like this water, we are near the dam site in Ashaiman, and there's a company. I won't name their name because I don't really know their name, but they are bringing water up. They're pulling that water out of the dam in Ashaiman. I was like, don't drink. Ooh, we never drink that water. My kids, I won't let them drink the water. Because everybody, if you were in Ghana, like, and you might notice, Leslie, like a few years ago, everyone was saying you should start a pure water company. That's the best company. So when I say that sachet water, I'm talking pure water.
Mm,
They call it pure water.
pure
Supposedly, you get a
water.
filtration, yeah, this filtration center in your bathroom, and you just pull water out of the tub or wherever. I will. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't know where the water is coming from, so I'm not going to lie on them. But I'm telling you, that little pond thing in front of the building, I pray to God it's not coming out of there because I only drink Belagua water. And it's good. It's and I
Sweet.
have not gotten sick from it. So
Mm-mm.
but I'm not gonna lie, Leslie, you know this, you've lived there. Um, there's a lot of regulations that go unmet. There's a lot of laws. Ghana is not short on laws. They're not short on regulations. It's just that people don't follow them. There are building codes and people don't follow them. Y'all better get a
Mm.
building inspector when you're looking at property, buying a land, buying, you don't know what they did. Was it up to code? Maybe. So that's the reality of living there. Um, I tell people, come with your eyes wide open. Go ahead and let your
Open.
course will
And yeah,
help people
definitely.
navigate.
When I was there. Oh, since you brought it up, folks, if you don't know, I'm working on an online course. Get ready. Because actually Angel, she mentioned it earlier today. She's like, I wish there was a transparent system. Oh, it's coming, honey. Because
Mm-hmm.
your girl didn't go through what she went through for nothing. And
Mm-hmm.
it's going to squash all this gatekeeping. It's going to bring clarity. And folks, if all All I'm going to say is that you need to join my newsletter because I will be making soon, and you take advantage of when I make announcements. That's all I'm going to say. Join my newsletter. Link in the description box. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I forgot. I'm so pumped up. I forgot to advertise myself. Next question. Have you heard of atmospheric water
generators? I've not heard of that.
Have you heard of atmospheric water generations?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, me neither.
No.
When they pull water from the air, is that what it is? Sorry, ATM. He's Baby T. How do we volunteer to help with boreholes? You have organization, right?
Yeah, we have an organization. Yeah, our organization is called Hope and Service to Mankind Foundation, and it's in Ashaiman. My husband started it 16 years ago, and we do everything. And it's like a multifaceted NGO. So we're working with the disabled, we're working with children. We bring groups in. We had some people from France to do volunteer work. They come for the summer and work in the schools and hospitals. And we're doing a traveling school nurse project. We're about to start that, where we're going to put nurses in the schools. They don't have school nurses. So yeah, if you're interested, Leslie will share my details at some later, like our website. You can contact me and I'll give you my contact information if you're interested. We will definitely, like I said, we have one and we would love to have more. We need more, in all honesty.
And so you told me to put something in the description about which I did, but that's not what you just said. So you have to give me all that information.
I will.
So I can put it in the description box.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just told you about the school, but we do have an NGO, a nonprofit NGO. So I will share that information and get that to folks who are interested. Absolutely. But it's www.hopeandservice.org. Hope and Service to Mankind. What is the hopeandservice.org? Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up and get it. I don't know why I can't remember it off the top of my head. But definitely we'll share that information. And y'all come.
Oh yeah, give it to me and then I'll put it.
Yes, I'll give it to you and you can include it. But yeah, there's definite ways that you all can be helping. We can be helping. The other good thing about the borehole is it's free water. Okay, so we're helping the communities, not just with clean water, but it's free, because water is not free in Ghana. And so if you have the water company delivering your water to your poly tanks, then that's a cost. And so we're actually really helping people that need the help, and farmers too, y'all. All of us benefit when villages have boreholes, because that means we can have some fresh vegetables without the worrying about the hazard. Absolutely. Thank you, Baby T. We'll definitely get to you, okay, the information for anyone who's interested in finding out more about the work that I'm doing in Ghana. Absolutely. And then keep in touch with Leslie, because she knows how to get a hold of
ATM. Yes. ATM, I do know who you're talking about. It's a black man, actually. He invented how to pull water out of air. Yes. He went viral on Instagram several times. So atmospheric water. Thanks for reminding me of that. Now, if that's when I get to Ghana, I don't know.
But I'm in Michigan and we still having issues in Michigan. It's difficult when you're
you're in Michigan.
I'm in Michigan. I'm not far from Flint. I'm in Ann Arbor. But it's difficult when you want to bring, there's gatekeepers. The government doesn't want us to heal our lands and heal our communities. So if it did get to Flint, it didn't get to enough people, because there's still people very impacted by the water crisis there. But it can happen here. It can definitely happen there, y'all. So we're not saying anything negative about Ghana or the continent. We're just saying, come with your prepared. Come prepared, y'all. That's what I would say. Because I'm still hanging in there. Take Leslie's course. Take Leslie's course.
Say that one more time. You broke up.
I just said, take Leslie's course. because too many people are
Take my
headed
course,
for,
which is
yeah,
not
they
out yet. So
no, it's coming. But that tip of the iceberg, that's all people are focused
it's
on.
coming.
And ships don't stop sailing in the ocean because of icebergs. Captains just learn how to navigate around them. And so Leslie will help you all navigate around the icebergs so you do not smash up. And I know far too many people who have come and they didn't make the 5-year mark. Like I said, I'm there. Number one, God keeps me there. Number two, my relationships have kept me there. But if you don't have a network, it's easy to crash, come home limping, and a lot of us do. There's no shame in a restart. Like, woo, I messed up that first time. Come home, reset, and then come back. But you'll be wiser. But Leslie will help y'all so you won't crash and burn. You can figure out how to do it the right way. Yeah. Before you spend up all your money, don't sell
Yes.
your house, your cars, cash out
Don't do it.
401ks. Whew,
He did
don't
that.
do it. He did. But you don't have to. You can do it a different
Yeah.
way. You don't have to learn the hard way. Listen to us. We are available to
The
talk to
hard way.
you. We'll help you. That's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm. We
I'm not
sure
telling you
are.
don't come. I'm saying let us help you
Yes.
come so that you have a very good experience. And then we make a way for the next group. There's some people coming after us too. But this is a good
Mm-hmm.
show. Thank
Each
you so
one.
much.
Yes. Thank you for being here, Queen Kim. I appreciate your knowledge. I appreciate your knowledge. I appreciate what you have done for the community, for the motherland. Like you are doing a mighty, mighty work. And we declare that you get paid for your work. Now.
I receive it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Now.
No, we're God is always He
Yes.
gives us that daily bread, so we are grateful. And there are good things. I got some stuff on the horizon, so I'm doing everything. Like Ghanaians are very transactional. You'll learn that, y'all, when you get there. So I'm doing things for free, but it won't be for free forever. And people know I'll have contracts with everybody. As soon as you get money, you owe me. But I'm doing stuff for free. And you have to do that. You have to give a little taste, and then people will remember you with its relationships. So if you want to get close to the queen, you have to take care of me, and I'll take care of you. So we'll take care of each other. That's what we're doing. Um, and that's all we can do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to everybody
Right.
coming after they take your course and after they've read your
Oh, they're gonna
books.
be so ready.
They'll be so
They're gonna
ready.
be so ready. So, in closing out, is there anything you want to share as we close out?
I think I have talked a lot. And so, like I said, I always talk a lot. But I am full of information, and I'm willing to share it. And so get back in touch with me if you all have more questions about anything, even relationships. I can talk to you about relationships. Woo, we could do a whole show on
That's a
relationships.
video.
That's a
That's a
whole, like, I'm
whole.
an
We can do a
American married
whole.
to a Ghanaian. Woohoo! And there's a lot of women. Uh-huh. So we need to talk about it. Romance. We need to talk about that. There's
See,
another piece of it. All right, I'm done.
you opened up another can. I mean, we can.
You got to talk about it.
Well, folks, the
You got to
Q and
talk
A
about
session has closed.
it.
Um, I one question came at the last minute. Ooh, sorry about that. Did you just most sun trim? Well, let's get to it since we're here, folks. This is the last question that we're gonna shut it down. I've bought an incomplete home in Winneba, which is now completed. I was initially told there was a borehole, but no borehole. I now have a water tank. What's the best advice you can give me?
You can still drill a borehole, and it can tap to your water tank. So your poly tank, all of us start with poly tanks, one or more poly tanks, but a borehole, we can do a whole thing on a borehole. What is it? How do you do it? And they can put it in, but it can be on your property. and it can attach to your poly tank, so you can draw directly from your borehole instead of connecting to the municipal water. So I would suggest you go ahead and get the borehole, especially if you're in Winneba. I love Winneba, by the way. It's a beautiful, beautiful town. Yeah.
Yeah, I looked
So I
into
would say
Winneba
go
too
ahead
at the
and get the
beginning of my
borehole.
journey.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love Winneba. I could live there. The university is there. We work with a lot of the students at the education university. All of our teachers are coming out of there for Ghana.
Winneba, is that where they just finished that university, or is it the old? It's the
Mhm.
old university there.
There's an old university, the University of Winneba, University of Education in Winneba, is the
Mm.
oldest education. So most of the teachers that are coming out, that are getting their 4-year degree in education teaching, are coming out of there, and I consult for them. I also consult for the University of Ghana, Marshall's University, and African University of Business. So I consult with a lot of academic organizations as well.
Mm.
So, but it's a beautiful town. If you like, and I'm from a small Ann Arbor, is where the University of Michigan is. It's a college town, and so that's why I think I like Winneba, the pace of it. It's really, really nice. So, congratulations, sir, on that. Yeah, but you can do a borehole, absolutely. And I can get the details on the cost and all of that too, because that has changed. You used to be able to do a borehole for about 2,500 USD. Those prices have gone up. So I could find out how much it would cost, depending on how big
Mm.
your tank is and your filtration system and how far they have to drill. That's really the layers down is how they bill you till they tap the water source. So we can do it. We can do something on that because I think it would be very timely. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, folks. Like, share, subscribe. Visit my website, www.vision-reality.com. I have blogs there. Join my newsletter to stay updated on my land journey, the next group trip. What else? And international agreements that I have with contractors in different countries. So, folks, if you are new here, let me end with telling you what this page is about. If you're just checking in, here, where is it? Mission is to bridge the emotional, educational, and cultural gap to visit, repatriate, or do business in the motherland. So today we talked about the emotional aspect of it. We talked about educate. We talked about all three today. We tapped into all three, especially for those that are repatriating and you want to live. You got a whole bunch of education today. So Miss Queen Kimberly, we appreciate you. Folks, thank you for hanging, and we will see each other next time. Bye-bye.